Hi guys, what's up? So today we are going to be making Biscoff cookies, Biscoff cheesecake cookies. So first things first, what I'm gonna do is I preheated my oven to 350. And then I have 2 sticks of softened butter. You have to make sure that, it's been out for a little while so that you can make sure that it will, be easier to combine with the sugar. So first I am putting the 2 butter sticks, then I'm gonna mix in my 1 1/4 cup of sugar. And then I am going to mix it until everything is like creamed together and it's like fluffy. You'll see in the video where it looks like it's combined all the way, but at the same time, it also looks like it's just looks like popcorn kind of, but it's not. Yes, I am making a little mess, but it's all right. So after this, whenever it gets to about, looking like the way it looks now, you can go ahead and you can do a little bit more, but you can go ahead and stop it. Then you want to add in your 1 egg. And then you want to add in your vanilla and almond extract. Mine, I just combined it together already, so it's just a lot easier, and so I don't have to wash more dishes. So it's about about 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then also about a half a teaspoon of almond extract. So then I'm gonna blend everything together till it's smooth. So yeah, see how everything is kind of coming together a little bit? That's what's gonna start, it's gonna kind of start the form of your dough. But you want to make sure it's all combined before you start to add into before you add the flour in. Next, I'm going to add in my 2 cups and a half of a cup of flour. I'm going to add in my half a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add in a 1/3 cup of crushed Biscoff. Then I'm also going to do a 1/3 cup of melted Biscoff to kind of balance out. I want it to have that Biscoff flavor. I want it to kind of be a little strong, but not really too strong, with the balance of the flavors. Then I'm going to mix everything in until it starts to form my dough. It will look, a little weird at first starting off, like the way it's looking now. But once you get the hang of it, of what cookie dough is going to look like after and everything, it'll all be good. But also you want to make sure that you have a scraper or, some type of, utensil to scrape the sides, because you don't want excess flour on the side of your bowl and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides. I'm going to scrape the sides and everything so that, I can get all of that incorporated as well. And I'm just going to continue to mix a little bit more until my dough starts to, until it starts to kind of almost look like a ball almost. It will kind of get stuck in the blender a little bit, but that is when you have to turn up the speed a little bit more. And then so after I'm done mixing it, I laid out a piece of plastic wrap because I like to put it in plastic wrap because I like to chill my dough. So what I do is I try to get it all on there, all on the plastic wrap. You'll see the way I do it in just a moment. You'll just see how I do it in just a moment, because it just makes it kind of even a little bit, and so that it'll kind of come out almost the same whenever I cut it. So you can see me here struggling a little bit, but that's always about baking. You're gonna struggle a little bit. So once you have everything on there, you're gonna roll it. Yep, I had to try to get it out into because the whole thing wouldn't come out. So, but it's all right. It's still gonna work out. So here we go with this. I'm trying to also flatten it out some so that it will be easier to roll. As you can see here, I was having a little hard time at first because accidentally the one side had a little too much of dough. So I had to cut some off with the little spatula I was using. And then, I just kind of folded it in with the other side, just to make sure that it's going to be the same on each end. Then you kind of want to roll it tight so that it will be easier to cut them. And then yeah, like I said earlier previously, that you want to chill it for about maybe like 20 minutes or so that it'll make your cookies chewier in the middle and also have a little crunch on the outside. So for this step right here is I'm adding a 1/2 cup of sugar and a 1/3 cup of crushed Biscoff. This is so that whenever your cookie dough comes out the freezer, you can roll it into that so that it'll have a little crust on it. And yes, I'm being a little rough with it, just trying to get it done, which it's not going nowhere. But, I made a little mess, but I cleaned it all up and everything. So that's what matters, as long as if I'm keeping it clean. But you kind of want to make sure that it's kind of combined well, because sometimes the sugar will kind of sit at the bottom. I ran out of marshmallow fluff. I totally forgot. So I had to, melt some marshmallows, a little bit of butter. This is for the cheesecake. So then I used 1 block of cream cheese. I used a 1/2 cup of marshmallows and about, a little piece of butter to kind of melt in with the the marshmallows. And then I added 1/3 cups of powdered sugar. And then I think I added, it was about 2 tablespoons of Biscoff, crushed Biscoff, only because, it gives it a little more of a texture. And it also, like I said, I want the Biscoff flavor to be there. But, so it makes it a whole lot better, incorporating as much of the flavor that you add to it. So, yeah. And then also I added about 2 tablespoons of milk, because just so that it'll kind of liquefy it, but not liquefy it at the same time. It'll make it like the perfect consistency. And once you refrigerate the cookies, after, then it will make it a whole lot better, and it'll make it easier to spread onto your cookies. And here, yeah, there's the 2 tablespoons of Biscoff, crushed Biscoff and everything, and then the milk. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it until it's smooth. I kind of put it on, the ×2 speed so that it can speed up the process. After I mixed it all together and smooth, like until it was smooth, I had to try some. It was bomb. Like, it was so good. Like, I would definitely be making this cookie recipe again. So I'm just mixing. You can do this with whatever type of cookies or whatever you want to add to your cookies. It's all based on your liking. You can also use my recipe if you want. It's totally up to you guys. But this cheesecake is so good. Like, this, it's not like it's a cheesecake, but at the same time it's just not really a cheesecake. I'm not baking the cheesecake, the stuff that I'm making now, but it just makes it it's so good. It's very good on the cookies. It balances out the flavors. So yeah, and then just waiting for it to get smoothened. Then I had took my cookie dough out the freezer. It's not too hard. It's not too frozen, or it's not too thawed, like unthawed, if that makes sense. It just needs to be enough to where it's solid, so that your cookies will come out chewy in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my scale out. If you don't have a scale, it's okay. You can, cut the cookies so however sizes you want. I just tried to weigh them out to almost the same weight, because they will bake the same time. And yeah, so I was struggling a little bit getting the cookie dough and getting half of it off, but it came off. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to find my scale, and then I had to find a few other things that I could get for all of that stuff. But I had to go get a knife and my scale. So here I go. I am cutting the cookie dough to my preferred weight that I want them to be. I'm gonna weigh them. I weigh them about 1.7 ounces. So that the cookies, they're gonna be nice and thick and chewy. But also, yeah, so some of them are a little bigger than the other, but then that's when I had to, take off some of the cookie dough so that it was almost, the perfect like 1.7 ounces, whatever I, baked it at. And also, if, like I said, you can do the process however you would like. If you want to make them smaller, you can make them smaller. Like make minis, you can make minis. If you want to make them big cookies, or you could also make like a cookie cake out of this dough if you really wanted to. Which I will be making a chocolate chip cookie cake soon. I love my chocolate chip recipe. It's so good. And I will definitely be posting that too as soon as as soon as I get these gone. And, these are just going out to, my friends and, some of my family and stuff. So yeah. And then this one was a little too big right here. I had to take some off, but then I accidentally cut a little too much off. So then I had to add a little bit more to, balance out the weight. And then so, this will make about, let me see, I'm trying to think. It'll make about like 20 big cookies, and I'm not sure about how many mini cookies. But like I said, it's all depending on what you would like to do it as: minis, big cookies, cookie cake, or whatever. But here I go, trying to use half of the dough. If I don't use all of it, all of my dough, I like to freeze it. It's good for, about like a week or so. And then, yeah, so, once I finish rolling these out, I will get my pan and everything set for my cookies. And then what I would do is I will roll them in my sugar and crushed up Biscoff. That's for, it's going to give it a nice little crunch to it. And also the cookies, when they bake, they have the outside is a little crunchy, the inside is chewy. So it makes it amazing. It makes the best cookies ever. So as you can see here, I'm rolling out the cookies into the sugar Biscoff mix. And then, I'm trying to speed up the process a little bit so, it doesn't take up, more time and everything. So next, what I'm going to do is, here's my pan that I had set up. I'm going to spray a little bit of non-baking spray, oh my gosh, non-stick spray. It doesn't look like it's really coming out, but it came out. I put about 8 cookies on here. Because since they were kind of a little bigger, it did, I had to do them in separate batches. So yeah. So after these bake, I baked them for about 10 minutes. Then whenever I took them out, they came out a little bit softer than what I wanted them to. So I put them back in for another minute so that, they can have, I know for sure that they're going to be done. So after that, I put them in the fridge to let them cool. And then what I do last is I like to decorate them. So here is also I have put the cheesecake in a Ziploc bag because, I don't have no piping bag. So for me, it's okay. But what you, and also you want to put it in the fridge so that it can get, kind of harden a little bit because you don't want it to be too soft. So what I do is, I like to kind of go in a little zigzag motion that I'm doing on there. And then after this, I will top it with crushed up Biscoff. And you'll see that coming up in a moment. So I like to make them look pretty because presentation to me is always the best. So here goes my little crushed up Biscoffs. It's not a lot, but, it's what I had left. And then here you go. And so, I'm kind of going to skip the video through a little bit or speed it up some so that I can, get to the last and final part. And that is the finished product. So, here I go. I tried to do all of the cookies this way, only because, like I said, I'm about presentation, and presentation is what is going to get your clientele up. And then, so here we go with this. I typically wear gloves, but I ran out. But like I said, these are going to family and friends. And here's the finished touch.